Hey everyone, what's up? Who here loves to cook? Who lives for the smell of garlic frying, the sound of a knife chopping fresh veggies, the explosion of flavors in every bite? If you're here, I bet you do. So tell me, have you ever tried those dishes that need real skill, patience, and dedication? The kind that separates the weekend cooks from the real master chefs? Today, we're going on a journey to uncover the 10 most complex and amazing recipes in the world. Forget ramen noodles and fried eggs. We're talking about real culinary masterpieces that challenge even the toughest chefs. Every step, every ingredient, every little detail makes all the difference in achieving perfection. If you're ready to take your cooking skills to the next level, or just want to drool over some mouth-watering dishes, then sit back, put on your apron, and get ready for a top-notch cooking class. Ah, the soufflé. Just saying the name makes a lot of cooks sweat. This delicate and impressive tower of egg whites is a true test for anyone who dares to try it. The secret, my friends, is to master the art of egg whites. They need to be just right, firm, yet light as a feather, ready to create that unique soufflé texture. But don't think you just beat the egg whites any old way and throw them in the oven. No way. The oven temperature is sacred. 1 degree too high, 1 minute too short, and you can say goodbye to that light and fluffy texture and get ready for a flat and sad disaster. And don't forget about precision when mixing the egg whites into the base. One wrong move and you'll end up with a brick instead of a soufflé. Sounds scary? It is. But trust me, the feeling of taking a perfect soufflé out of the oven, tall, golden, and with that creamy filling is simply indescribable. It's the glory of French cuisine, a reward for those who aren't afraid to face the challenges of the kitchen. So, next time you're looking for an impossible mission in the kitchen, remember the soufflé. You might struggle on the first few tries, but the journey to perfection is as rewarding as the final result. Leaving France behind, get ready to land in India, the land of vibrant spices and flavors that will make your taste buds dance. And when we talk about complex and harmonious Indian cuisine, biryani is the king of the castle. Imagine a dish where every grain of rice is embraced by a symphony of flavors. Saffron, ginger, garlic, coriander, cumin, cardamom, cinnamon, and the list goes on. But it's not about randomly throwing spices together. No way. The real magic of biryani lies in finding the perfect balance between each ingredient. The meat, whether it's chicken, lamb, or seafood, needs to be tender and juicy, while the rice, each grain should be separate and cooked to perfection. The layering technique, which traps the flavors and aromas, is essential. You need to have the know-how to ensure that the heat is evenly distributed, cooking everything just right. One wrong step and you'll have an unbalanced dish with soggy rice or dry meat. Mastering biryani is like conducting a flavor orchestra. You need to understand each ingredient, each step of the process to create a culinary masterpiece. It's a dish that requires time, patience, and love, but the reward is an explosion of flavors that makes it all worthwhile. Back to France, but this time we're diving headfirst into the depths of the Mediterranean to uncover the secrets of bouillabaisse. Forget that boring fish soup. This here is an explosion of flavors from the sea, a rich and complex stew that demands respect. The heart of bouillabaisse is the broth. We're not talking about just any broth, but a powerful infusion made with fish heads and bones, fresh vegetables, and a bouquet of aromatic herbs. This broth needs to simmer slowly, soaking up every drop of flavor from the ingredients, creating the base for the symphony of flavors to come. Choosing the fish is sacred. A variety of firm and flavorful fish, each with its cooking time down to a T, guarantees an impeccable texture and an explosion of marine flavors. Mussels, shrimp, and other seafood can join the party, adding extra layers of flavor and texture. Served with a spicy rouille, a mayonnaise-based sauce with garlic and pepper, bouillabaisse is a feast for the senses. Mastering this recipe proves to everyone that you're not afraid to roll up your sleeves and venture into the intense and complex flavors that only the sea can offer. God save the Queen. Crossing the English Channel to face a classic of British cuisine, beef Wellington. This wonder has a succulent filet mignon, wrapped in a layer of flavorful mushroom duxelle, all embraced by a golden and crispy puff pastry. Looks easy, right? No way. The trick here is to synchronize each element so that they are perfect at the same time. The fillet needs to be seared with mastery, keeping the inside pink and juicy. The duxelles, a mixture of chopped mushrooms and seasonings, must be cooked until soft, and concentrated in flavor. But the real challenge lies in the puff pastry. It needs to be as thin as tissue paper, light and crispy, wrapping the filling like a warm hug. Baking in a hot oven ensures that the dough rises and turns golden while the inside cooks evenly without the meat losing its juiciness. Cutting a perfectly cooked beef Wellington, revealing the perfect layers of pink meat, flavorful duxelles, and crispy puff pastry deserves a standing ovation. It's a dish for special occasions, a symbol of culinary mastery that requires dedication, precision, and a touch of boldness. Now, let's head to China. We're going to uncover the ancient secrets of Peking duck, a dish passed down through generations with its rich history and incredible flavor. Forget that boring roast duck. We're talking about a process full of secrets that transforms an ordinary duck into a culinary masterpiece. The journey begins with choosing the duck, which needs to be a specific breed, raised especially for this dish. Then comes the crucial step, carefully separating the skin from the meat, creating a little space so the skin gets incredibly crispy during cooking. Then, the duck takes a bath in spices like ginger, scallions, and soy sauce, enhancing its natural flavor. Next comes the part that separates the masters from the apprentices, roasting the duck in a special oven, ensuring that the skin becomes crispy and golden, while the meat remains incredibly tender and juicy. The end result is a symphony of textures and flavors. The crispy skin cracks with every bite, revealing tender and juicy meat, infused with the flavor of the marinade and a smoky touch from the oven. Served with thin pancakes, scallions, and hoisin sauce, Peking duck is an unforgettable dining experience, a showcase of Chinese culinary artistry. From China, we land in sunny Spain, where the love for good food can be tasted in every bite of the iconic paella valenciana. This vibrant and fragrant dish is much more than just rice with seafood. It's the heart of Spain on a plate, an explosion of fresh ingredients and intense flavors. The stage for this flavor party is the paella pan, a shallow and wide pan, specially designed to distribute heat evenly. It's in this pan that the bomba rice, a short grain and full of starch, dances with fresh vegetables, succulent meats and seafood, creating an explosion of colors and aromas. The secret of paella valenciana lies in the sofrito, the base of the recipe, which mixes tomato, onion, garlic, and bell pepper, forming a flavorful puree that embraces each grain of rice. The broth, usually made with chicken or fish, is added little by little, cooking the rice until it's al dente, absorbing all the flavors from the pan. The choice of ingredients is key. Rabbit, chicken, chorizo sausage, green beans, tomato, bell pepper, saffron, sweet paprika, and of course, fresh seafood like shrimp, mussels, and clams come together to create an explosion of flavors that transport you to a summer lunch on the Spanish coast. Our food adventure lands us in Mexico, a land of vibrant colors and bold flavors. We're here to uncover the mysteries of mole poblano. This complex and flavorful sauce is considered one of Mexico's national treasures, a legacy from ancient times that represents the richness of Mexican cuisine. Forget those ready-made sauces from the supermarket. Mole poblano is a symphony of flavors that requires time, patience, and a little bit of adventure in the kitchen. Imagine a unique blend of dried peppers, exotic spices, dried fruits, seeds, nuts, and Mexican chocolate, all carefully roasted and ground into a fine, fragrant powder. This magical powder transforms into a thick, velvety sauce, slowly simmered with chicken broth, seasoned with a touch of brown sugar and cinnamon, creating an explosion of sweet and savory flavors that dance in your mouth. Traditional mole poblano is served with turkey, but it can also be served with chicken, pork, and even vegetables. Each bite is a journey through the history and culture of Mexico, a sensory experience that transports you to another world. Back to France, everyone. This time, we're going to the heart of Burgundy, where coq au vin, a classic French dish, awaits us with open arms. Forget that boring everyday roast chicken. Coq au vin is a symphony of rustic and elegant flavors that will transport you to a charming French dinner, just like in the movies. The secret to this dish lies in the marinade. Juicy chicken pieces resting in an aromatic bath of full-bodied red wine, smoked bacon, onion, carrot, celery, garlic, thyme, bay leaf, and black pepper. This step is sacred because it allows the chicken to soak up all the flavors of the marinade, creating an unparalleled flavor base. After its flavorful bath, the chicken is browned over high heat, sealing in the juices and creating an irresistible caramelized crust. Then it goes back into the pot with the marinade, red wine, and chicken broth, simmering slowly until tender and falling off the bone. Button mushrooms and pearl onions are added in the final minutes, adding texture and freshness to the dish. Served with creamy mashed potatoes or fresh pasta, coq au vin is a warm hug on a cold day, a French culinary classic that never goes out of style. From the heart of France, we travel to the land of the rising sun, Japan, home to a precise and detail-oriented cuisine, to dive headfirst into the world of ramen. This is a culinary experience that goes way beyond instant noodles. Get ready for an explosion of flavors, textures, and aromas that will win you over with every bite. Forget everything you think you know about ramen, because the traditional Japanese version is an ancient art, a quest for perfection in every bowl. The secret to ramen lies in the broth, a magic potion that can take days to make. Pork bones, chicken, vegetables, and seaweed are slow cooked for hours and hours, extracting every drop of flavor and creating a powerful and complex base for the dish. The broth is then carefully strained, removing any impurities and resulting in a crystal clear and shiny liquid. But ramen is not just about the broth. Handmade noodles, made with special wheat, are cooked separately until they reach the perfect texture, firm and springy. Then, they are carefully placed in the bowl with the hot broth, accompanied by a variety of ingredients that change according to the region and the chef's creativity. And to wrap up our food adventure in style, we're going back to France, specifically to the Burgundy region, to savor boeuf bourguignon, a classic French dish that represents the heart of countryside cooking. Get ready for a symphony of rich flavors, mouth-watering aromas, and textures that melt in your mouth. Imagine generous pieces of beef, marinated in full-bodied red wine, smoked bacon, onions, carrots, and aromatic herbs like thyme, bay leaves, and rosemary. The marinade, an essential step for a successful dish, allows the meat to soak up all the flavors, resulting in a deep and complex taste. After marinating, the meat is seared over high heat until browned, creating a caramelized crust and building an even more intense flavor base. Then, it goes back into the pot with the marinade, red wine, and beef broth, simmering over low heat until tender and falling apart. But boeuf bourguignon isn't just about the beef. Button mushrooms, pearl onions, and smoked bacon are added in the final minutes, complementing the symphony of flavors and textures. For the final touch, a special ingredient, a spoonful of beurre mani, a mixture of butter and flour, thickens the sauce, creating a velvety texture that coats every ingredient. And that's a wrap on our journey through 10 of the most complex and delicious recipes in the world. Each dish, a challenge. Each bite, a victory. If you've made it this far, congratulations! You're a true food lover, ready to tackle any challenge in the kitchen. Mastering these recipes isn't easy. It takes dedication, technique, and most importantly, a love for the art of cooking. But the feeling of watching a soufflé rise in the oven, the explosion of flavors in an Indian biryani, or the perfect texture of a boeuf bourguignon make every minute worth it. So, the next time you want to get adventurous in the kitchen, remember these 10 culinary wonders. And don't forget, the important thing is the journey, the experimentation, and the fun.